announcements of restaurant closures keep popping on the news. Over the weekend, the landmark New York City restaurant Sammy's Romanian Steakhouse has closed its famous basement-level doors after 47 years in business. Based on the Lower East Side, the eatery was famous for its latke spreads, chopped liver, and vodka bottles frozen in blocks of ice. And it was celebrated as a spirited party spot, often frequented by celebrities. It is with great sadness that we announce that the rumors are true. We've had to shut the doors to the infamous basement, the restaurant wrote on Instagram. Sammy's Romanian is more than just a restaurant. It's a community, a celebration of tradition, an experience difficult to put into words. It's where families come to dine weekly, where partygoers begin their night, and where cinches are celebrated, stated the owners. The closure of the iconic steakhouse was lamented by several customers on social media. But as the health crisis continues to cripple the economy, the restaurant industry has been left in the middle of a major meltdown. Prior to 2020, the United States used to have over 660,000 restaurants across its territory. Americans traditionally love to eat out. Restaurant workers used to constitute a great part of the U.S. labor force before mass layoffs started to become a constant event. So it's been hard to watch so many great eateries going under. In some cases, like Sammy's, these businesses that have served their communities for decades are being mercilessly wiped out of the American economic landscape as limits on indoor and outdoor dining have made it difficult for the once thriving industry to survive. In New York on December 11th, indoor dining was officially banned, though owners tried to fight back the decision by filing lawsuits against the state over the ban on December 29th, citing state data that proved only a small percentage of new viral cases were linked to indoor dining. Unfortunately, their appeals were left unheard. Recently, in a Fox News op-ed piece, Adam Piper has described the anguish experienced by many restaurant owners amid the new round of restrictions, affirming that unreasonable, unnecessary, and hypocritical actions have pushed more than 100,000 restaurants to close and endangered countless others. State and local governments have wielded the health crisis as a license to steal freedom and opportunity in pursuit of unprecedented omnipotence. Often these regulations aren't targeting slowing the spread, but rather seem to be aiming at slowing the economy, Piper exclaimed. According to the state statistics, in-home gatherings account for 74% of new viral cases, while indoor dining makes up a mere 1.4%. For that reason, Piper says that these scientific acts force small businesses to play regulatory roulette, comply with absurd authoritarian assertions that leave them treading water or drowning forever. He argues that the draconian bans on indoor dining and limits to restaurants' operations have nothing to do with science and everything to do with power. No one questions the severity of the crisis. However, we must all question the motives of politicians usurping freedom at the expense of hotels, restaurants, and businesses, ultimately transforming our cities' downtowns, midtowns, and uptowns into ghost towns, Piper wrote. At this stage of the collapse, according to Bloomberg, the current figure for restaurant closures is even bigger. A new survey released by the National Restaurant Association disclosed that from September to December, 10,000 more closures were registered, totaling a nationwide tally of over 110,000 permanent or long-term closures, which means 1 in 6 U.S. eateries is now gone. The association is warning that there'll be more carnage in the months ahead as the industry grapples with the devastating impacts of the health crisis-induced recession. What these findings make clear is that more than 500,000 restaurants of every business type, franchise, chain, and independent, are in an economic freefall, said Sean Kennedy, the Executive Vice President of Public Affairs at the association, in a letter to Congress. As bans are prompting people to continue to stay in and eat at home, restaurant owners have been struggling to keep up sales. The NRA survey also revealed that roughly 90% of full-service restaurants reported revenue declines of at least 36%. On the other hand, expenses have been progressively climbing, with 59% of operators saying their total labor costs as a percentage of sales are higher than they were before the outbreak. There is no question that the sector will still face bleak prospects for the foreseeable future. 37% of operators affirmed in the survey that it is unlikely their restaurant will still be in business over the next 6 months. And more than 1 in 3 owners said to be considering temporarily closing until conditions improve. The mass closures portray a clear picture of what an economic depression looks like. Now that hundreds of thousands of restaurants are sitting empty, while tens of thousands of others aren't making enough revenue to afford their rent, the stage has been set for a commercial real estate disaster of epic proportions. Evidently, the restaurant vacancies are added to the millions of square feet of office and retail space that are also not being productive due to new work-at-home arrangements and the growing online shopping trend that has triggered the bankruptcy of hundreds of thousands of brick-and-mortar retailers. That's why this imminent commercial real estate nightmare
loop that. God, I'm gonna make that a thumbnail, man.
A monster.
That collapse, man. He got the bad news.
Wall Street Examiner Adler laid out that if there's anything that illustrates the head in the sand problem of the banks, it's this: commercial real estate finance. There's a monster.
Let me have it, you know what I mean?
All that empty space, no longer income producing. What's
that.
happening today is worse than back then in the good old S&L crisis days. Back then, the problem was a cyclical bust, like 2008 subsequently. Now, it's a structural, secular bust, particularly in office and retail. This is about how technology is fundamentally changing the way we live. It is rendering most commercial real estate obsolete forever, he alerted. According to Adler, the losses some of these sectors are about to face will be the final blow to their survival. He said to believe that even though big institutions of the industry are overpriced and overvalued right now, they will produce enough income to get by. But office and retail? Kiss it goodbye. It's done. Over. Kaput, he has declared, explaining that the retail property index has lost over half its value since 2016. Those properties will never again generate the income they did before people began moving to online shopping. Most will need to be repurposed. Many will be demolished. Their value is land only, and even that is depreciating. Adler projects that office buildings that are now only 50% occupied might lose 100% of their value due to operating leverage. Fixed expenses will stay fixed and variable expenses won't decline as much as rent. He affirms that many of these buildings will be either completely repurposed or abandoned, and that even at 75% occupancy, property owners won't be able to pay the mortgage. Consequently, banks will also face enormous losses, just as happened in 1988 to 92, only this time there will be no recovery, he noted. Sadly enough, his forecast seemed completely accurate. As the recession stretches, the damage done to the commercial real estate market will inevitably induce a crash in such unprecedented proportions that the 2008-9 subprime mortgage crash would look like a Sunday picnic. In addition to commercial properties, residential real estate is now in a massive price bubble. and the health crisis has been turning the usual geographical trends on their heads. In a recent CNBC article, experts indicated that historically, home values have increased the most in big cities on the coast, where supply is lower and demand is higher. But that is no longer the case. According to the Federal Housing Finance Agency, smaller metropolitan markets like Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Kansas City, Boise, Idaho, Austin, Texas, and Memphis, Tennessee are seeing some of the strongest price gains in the nation now. Prices in those cities are now at least 10% higher than a year earlier. As a result, markets that once were more on the affordable side are becoming increasingly less affordable as prices are fast climbing. An Adam Data Solutions study has found that by the end of 2020, the average price of homes in 55% of the counties in the nation was considered less affordable to the average wage earner than they have been historically, which is a significantly larger share compared to pre-outbreak levels. These price gains are completely offsetting the benefit of lower mortgage rates, and it takes even more to come up with a down payment, which is a big deal for that first-time buyer, less so for others, expounded Pete Tobukfa, the managing director with Bleakley Advisory Group. Another of the Fed's unintended consequences of hurting those that are least able to afford it. In other words, this situation already exposes the effects of hyperinflation in prices. Although the Fed has been massively purchasing bonds to try to keep the markets afloat, its money printing frenzy has backfired. And now we're in the middle of the most splendid real estate market bubble this country has ever seen. Considering policymakers will continue to launch more money into the system, this bubble will only inflate further and further, which will of course make the crash much more disastrous in scope and in size. For now, what we can tell you for sure is that economic conditions will continue to deteriorate until things get unsustainable. Everywhere we look, we can see that the dominoes are starting to fall. But we're still in the very early chapters of this ravaging economic collapse. If you like.
All right. Shalom, shalom. We're the Brothers of Great Millstone, the church in Birmingham, Alabama. And as always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, HaKakodash.
Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, that would be the correct name of the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also, we'd like to give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the brothers out there laboring in His work. And as always, you believe it's the Akim, as well as the Aqua that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, we back once again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. And it's sitting right here is entitled, simply entitled, Babylon Has Fallen, man. You know, which when you have the spirit of prophecy, or you subscribe to the teachings of our Lord Yahweh Shah, the testimony of our Lord, pretty much you have sight to see the end. You know, the Lord have given us insight on how this thing is going to play out. It's similar to, you know, a movie. You have a movie, you just fast forward to the end of the movie, you know, and that's how the scriptures pretty much, the scriptures is written in a lot of cases. It's written in past tense, all right, because Babylon is already finished. It's already done. It's already written and scripted, you know. It's decreed by Yahweh Shema Shah. But the Lord have given us the ability to see it. But as it unfolds, you know, it's really made crystal clear and apparent, you know, and the prophecies as they come forth, come abroad, be brought more and more to the forefront, is made more and more evident, man. Matter of fact, you guys, well, I was just thinking about that. Get that. Mm-hmm.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 5. For like it's all that is made in the world have a beginning and end.
Yeah. So everything here on the planet Earth have a beginning and an end, right? And that includes America. Right? Go ahead.
And the end is manifest.
And the end is manifest, which when you go into the word manifest, it means to make clear. All right. And one of the ways that we know that this place is certainly on its way out of here besides biblical prophecy itself, is the way this place is going down and its ties to the financial structure. Because this is the way America was built. Matter of fact, let's prove that real quick. Give me, it's a couple of scriptures coming to mind. Matter of fact, give me the land of traffic, Ezekiel. And I believe in that same, you can jump down to we'll talk about how it cut off her limbs.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Start off up at the top though.
This book of Ezekiel 17.
Yeah, because this place was built off of trade. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ezekiel 17 in verse 4. It says
Matter of fact, jump up.
All right, kind. This is on Ezekiel 17:3. It said, and say, thus said the Lord of power, a great eagle with great wings, long wing full of feathers, which had diverse colors, came into Lebanon and took the highest branch of the cedar.
Yep, and that's when these devils took us into captivity. The highest branch of the cedar, that cedar tree in its fullness is Israel. You have the roots of a tree which goes into our forefathers.
Yeah.
The top of the tree goes into us. Right? Go ahead. That's why it's like it. That's why when you read Revelation, the 12th chapter, when it speaks about the dragon and his tail, cast down a third part of the stars. That was going into the end here in the latter days when they took down, the southern tribe, right? The southern kingdom, should I say? Go ahead.
It says he cut out the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic.
And what?
Carried it into a land of traffic,
which is America. All right. Now, real quick, going to that word traffic real quick. All right. It tells you that we will be carried into a land of traffic. Now, we're going to go into this word traffic real quick and it'll give you a better idea, a better sense on what America stands for. That's why when you read Revelation, the 18th chapter concerning the destruction, you got that? Give me what a merchant's. Yep, bring that up.
This is the book of Revelation 18, verse 15. The merchants of these, which were made rich by her, shall stand up.
Read that again.
It says the merchants of these things, which were made rich by her.
Which were made rich by her. Who is that her? America. So you have these different merchants, these foreigners that come over here to America and they pitch their tents. And you see it. We ain't got to break that down. That doesn't require any extensive research, in-depth analysis. You see it. You go to these gas stations or corner stores or even certain restaurants. You got so-called Arabs up in there. You got Moab up in there. You got these foreigners pitching their tents. They became rich off of this place. Why? Because this is a land of trade. Or another quick thing too, when you consider America is an import. Everything is made in China, made in Thailand, made in Mexico. It's an import. And that's another reason why this place is known as a whore. Because a whore, she absorbs. She don't dish it out. She take it. See? Read that again.
Yeah, it's Revelation 18, verse 15. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing.
Yep, go ahead.
It says, and saying, alas, alas, the great city.
Yep, the great city, Babylon the Great, America. Right, go ahead.
That was clothed in fine linen, in purple and scarlet.
Yep, which symbolizes royalty. Okay, pretty much America was considered the lady of kingdoms, the glory of kingdoms, the foundation of the earth. This is the place where all the trends come from, This is the trendsetter, the trailblazer, if you will. Right? Go ahead.
It says, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. It says, for in 1 hour, so great riches is come tonight.
So great riches are coming tonight, man. Okay? Proving that this place, America, in the very fabric of it is centered around business and trade and finance. Go ahead.
It says, in every shipmaster.
See, in every shipmaster. Go ahead.
And all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea.
As many as what?
Trade by sea.
Trade by sea. See? Now let's go back here again. Let's go back and read this again before you get that definition.
Ezekiel 17:4. It said he cropped out the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic.
Yeah, into a land of traffic. Go ahead.
He set it in a city of merchants.
In a city of merchants. That's America. Okay? So now let's look up that word real quick.
That's that word traffic. It just says merchant trader.
Trader, which goes into business, man. You know? So that's what this place is centered around. And this is why Yahweh Shema Shai is pretty much striking this place with a surgical blow. This is a surgical strike. In the fact that the Lord is, hitting these pressure points. You know, the very thing that made America thrive. All right? This is a well-calculated blow, which it all goes back to biblical prophecy. It was prophesied that this place, America, would be reduced, from that exalted level and would be abased. And what would contribute to that would be what you see now, these different business collapsing. You have the economic, what is called the retail apocalypse, which Lord will, we're going to bring out information on that as well. Okay, you got something else?
Yeah, this is Zephaniah 1 and 10. It said, and it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord.
Right, and that's dealing with prophecy. It shall come to pass in that day. This is that time. Go ahead.
That there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills.
And that great crashing from the hills is dealing with this stock market crash. Okay? Go ahead.
How ye inhabitants of Maktesh.
Yeah, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh. In the modern sense, that would be dealing with Wall Street, which if you Google Maktesh, as you go to the geographical pictures, it's actually a hole in the ground now. And that's spiritual because America is in a hole. All right, go ahead.
It said, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people
are cut down. See, there go again. For all the merchant people are cut down. All right, everybody, if you see over here again, who pitched their tents, they was drawn by the lust of becoming rich in America. Go ahead.
It says, all they that bear silver are cut off.
Yep, see, all they that have these riches, they're cut off. All right, you got something?
Yeah, this is the book of James 5 and verse 3. It says, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you.
Yeah, so this place beginning to deteriorate, that's a witness against you. That's one of the reasons why we know this Babylon. This couldn't be the kingdom of heaven. Because you don't see that, because you have a lot of people and their argument pretty much leads you to this being a kingdom. They might not say it, but they say like Esau is done away with. So in a roundabout way, you saying this the kingdom. No, this is Babylon, man. And again, your riches becoming cankered and rusting is actually a witness against you. That testifies against you. This ad fuels our fire. When we see that information come out, yep, this is Babylon, because it was foretold that this place was spiral out of control, man. And the scriptures are specific. It would be a financial collapse that's going to head this. And you see that that's not out of the realm of reality, because here in America, everything is set up based, your status is based upon salary, man. That's why you see these niggas, they own Instagram with money, these rappers, everything is built to run. Hey, motherfucker, listen to you. Oh, the scriptures talk about that. The poor man, wisdom is despised. Somebody can get that. That proves that this is that place, man. Because you have a complete knuckhead nigga, Lil Wayne, a nigga off lean, and whatever words he could utter, he mumbled out. Motherfucker listening, But if a wise man speak, a poor wise man speak, they dismiss it, they shun it, because again, this place in the very essence of it is centered around your salary, what you make, what you possess. See, and that dwindling away is a testament against you. See, you got that?
Go ahead. This is Ecclesiastes 9:16. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength.
Yep.
Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised.
Yep, the poor man's wisdom is despised, man. And that's mainly on display right here in America. Because a person, it's easy on the ear if a motherfucker with money or some type of status, when they speak, then you'll listen. Right? Go ahead.
Okay, this is the book of Sirach 13 in verse 22, in verse 23. It says, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue.
Yeah, and that goes into rappers and all that. When niggas spitting raps, bars, or interview, everybody hold their tongue. You listening to this motherfucker because it's based upon what he got. Read that again.
It says on Sirach 13 and 23, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And look what he saith.
Mm-hmm.
They extol it to the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
But if the poor man speak,
Yeah, but when the poor man speak, go ahead.
they say, what fellow is this?
Yeah, that's how they do us. They see us with the garments, with Bibles in our hand. What manner of guy is this? See, go ahead.
And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
Yep. So let's go back to what you said.
James 5 and verse 3 again. It says, your gold and silver is cankered.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the word cankered real quick.
Mhm.
Merriam-Webster. It says a source of corruption. It says debasement.
Debasement. Woo! Click on that word. Which we obviously know what that's going into. The word itself is one of those self-explanatory words, but let's just look it up for edification's sake.
It says debasement goes back into the word debase.
Mm-hmm.
First one I seen was on Lord in status.
Woo! See?
It says to Lord in
To
status.
Lord in status, man. All right, the Lord is bringing you down from that lofty lot that you occupy. Matter of fact, give me real quick Isaiah 47. Go ahead.
It says to reduce.
Woo! To reduce. You've been reduced from sugar to shit, America. You know, you was once. Hey, you got these other nations that pretty much mocking you, man. You got different foreigners who actually going back to their home, scraping up their pennies and getting the hell up out of here, man. You know, you've been abased, man. You've been reduced. When you reduce something, you break it down. See, go ahead.
It says to reduce the exchange value of a monetary unit.
Ooh, a monetary unit. So that proves right there that this is how the Lord is strategically taking down America, which we know this is a methodical takedown. You know, this is brilliant in the way the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah chose to overthrow America, Babylon the Great. Again, he's hitting certain pressure points. The very thing that made this place, you know, the old saying, the very thing that make you laugh and make you cry, man. So the Lord is striking you right there. Matter of fact, when you go to Revelation 18 chapter, give me that too, where it says so much torment. Give me what you got.
This Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust.
See, reduced. What the definition said again, to be brought to a lower status. See, read that again.
It said, come down and sit in the dust.
Yeah, come down and sit in the dust. Go ahead.
O virgin daughter of Babylon.
O virgin daughter of Babylon. For those of you in the know, we know clearly that that's concerning America right there. Right? Go ahead.
Sit on the ground. There is no throne.
Mm-hmm.
O daughter of the Chaldeans,
Mm-hmm.
for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Woo! You are no longer being called tender and delicate, man. That's beautiful. These scriptures make more and more sense. You know, the closer we get to that climax, if you will, in prophecy, when our Lord returns, these scriptures, we've been reading them scriptures for years, but it makes more and more sense, man. You know, you see the current state of this place, America, right? It falls right in line with the prophecies, man. The Lord sanctioned for America to come from that high state and sit in the dust, which, by the way, that word dust symbolizes confusion. And that's the state. Well, that's Babylon.
That's it.
You're going to see why the Lord called this place Babylon. It's going to be a state. You know, it's already confusion in the sense of if you step down on a woman, you got to consider if it's a man, you know. But it's gonna be across the board. You're going to have people confused, not knowing why, you know, their debit card ain't working, you know. Yeah, come on, give me what you got.
And this Revelation 18 and verse 7. It says how much she hath glorified herself.
See? Go ahead.
And lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
Yeah. So the Lord said how much she glorified, you know, herself. Replace that with torment and sorrow. And we see that. We right on the cuffs of that, man. You know, it's happening. It's unfolding right before your eyes. All right. So you got something else before we go back?
Yep, kind of. It's Isaiah 24, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
The city of confusion is broken down.
Yep, and that city of confusion would be America. And when something is broken down, matter of fact, let's look up that word broken down real quick.
I got something.
Broken. Go ahead.
This Baruch 4 and 32. It said, miserable are the cities
Woo!
which thy children serve.
Yeah, miserable are the cities, and that's a key word right there. Cities. That's concerning America. There's no coincidence the average person here is known as citizens, because this place, America, is compiled with more cities than states or provinces, as it were. So when it says miserable are thy cities, right? It says what?
Which thy children serve.
Yeah, and that's concerning the children of Israel. We came over here as servants. You know, go ahead.
Miserable is she that received thy sons.
And that she is America. That prophecy is now being unfolding right before your eyes, man. Go ahead.
For as she rejoiced at thy ruin.
Yeah, she rejoiced at thy ruin, meaning what? She came up off of your calamities. The reason why you go to the fabulous 50s, the reason why they was in that spirit of mirth and joy and rejoicing, it was based upon our fall, man. And it tells you that Lazarus and the rich man, you know. Read that part again.
It said, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation.
Yeah, so now this place is being grieved. Okay, that's the spirit. And that spirit is going to continue to overwhelm this place of America. What you're witnessing is a shift, man. A transition of power. That's why Yahweh Shai said, they shall mourn. I mean, they shall rejoice. You shall mourn, but your mourning should be turned into joy. Hey, it's like this. The best way I can simplify it, if you're watching a game, right? A football game. Because these are two opposing forces here. Righteousness and wickedness, right? Watching a game, and you got the stadium. One half of the stadium room for this team, the other half room for that team. Well, if this team throw an interception, this side of the stadium gonna start rejoicing, man. And the other side gonna, you know, it's a spiritual pick. This is a spiritual interception, man. Now this side of the stadium, the righteous, we rejoicing. And by default, that means you gotta mourn. Because it all goes hand in hand. That's that yin and yang, if you will, man. So the fall of America means our rejoicing, just like our ruin meant their rejoicing. See that? Come on, you got more, man?
Yeah, just going back to what you just said, verse 34, it says, for I will take away the rejoicing of a great multitude.
See that? I would take away the rejoicing of a great multitude. That's why we're encouraged, if you will. You know? Because of the downfall of this place, and again, vice versa, they rejoiced at our ruin. When we came over in them ships, we was out there picking cotton, you know, and building this place up. This place was built at the expense of the blood of Israel, the blood, sweat, and tears of the nation of Israel. They was rejoicing in that, man. See that? Go ahead.
It says, and her pride shall be turned into mourning.
Yep, and her pride. Woo! Her pride is now being turned. Oh, that's why the spirit, I was showing the brothers that we was, you saw the looks on Edomite's face. That's the spirit, man. That's the spirit. Even though it was like reenactments. Yeah, the one Edomite, he just collapsed. And this old lady was fanning him and shit. In the spirit, I'm gonna make that a thumbnail, man. But you saw that. That motherfucker looking over bills and shit. And they old lady massaging their neck and shit, motherfucker stressed out, man. But that's biblical prophecy, man. This is beautiful time. Matter of fact, give me that 2 in the 5th chapter.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Give me what you got.
Kind of going back to Isaiah 24, I'm going to jump up a little bit. It's Isaiah 24 and verse 7. It says, the new wine mourner, the vine language, all the merry-hearted do sigh.
Ooh, the merry-hearted is now sighing. This is justice, man. Okay? The so-called white man, he rejoiced at our ruin, at our fall. Oh, you know, to show you how these devils really got off on our fall, if you see into the images of Jake being hung, motherfucker take a picture smiling, man. What else you want, man? Yeah. How much evidence you need, man? You motherfucker, you hanging from a tree, you swinging, you know, from a tree, and you got these motherfuckers taking pictures with their little ones, and they got smiles on their face, man. See that? Well, that's what the scripture said. Read that again.
It's Isaiah 24 and verse 7. It says the new wine mourner, the vine languisher, all the merry-hearted do sigh.
Now the merry-hearted is sighing, man. And believe you me, them very ones who contributed to vexing you, you know, they back today to fulfill these prophecies, man. And that's in the book of Psalms. What's that? Psalms 6th chapter. How they shall return and be ashamed. That's reincarnation. See? All right, come on.
It says the mirth of tabrets ceases,
Mm-hmm.
the noise of them that rejoice in them.
Yep. Oh, well, they just had the Heisman. And that's show you how far this place. You know, it was a time you probably already would have knew that the Heisman ceremony was tonight. Nobody even knew about that shit, man. They had the Heisman ceremony when nobody there. They was doing it viral. Motherfucker who won the Heisman trophy was at the crib. You know, you do your speech. Motherfucker like, yeah. First of all, I want to thank God if it wasn't from him. Motherfucker at the house. Well, that MP song. You know what I mean? Giving this damn Heisman speech, man. That's a form of the Lord breaking this place down, man. This is beautiful. See, go ahead. It should be marvelous in your eyes, man. The Lord has finally stepped in on our behalf. Go ahead,
It says the joy of the harp cease. It says they shall not drink wine with their song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them.
Yep, go ahead.
That drink it. It says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up.
Woo! Every house is shut up. You know, which in the spirit, we're gonna go into a little information that supports that prophecy right there. But let's go into the word broken real quick.
Yeah, this the word broken. Strong's H7665. It says to break in pieces. It says to break in or down.
Yeah, to break in and break down. Who the one with the rod in his hand? It's Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah is the one breaking this place down, man. See, go ahead.
It says rend violently.
Woo!
Wreck.
Woo! That's a cold word. Yeah. Wreck. This place is wrecked, man. Go ahead.
It says crush, quench.
Crush, quench. Go ahead.
It says to rupture, to be broken.
That's a
strain.
Yeah. You rupture something, that's a bad wound, man. Go ahead.
It says to be broken, be maimed, be crippled.
Be crippled, and that's the spirit, because when you consider the so-called white man and his rulership is compared to legs. It's compared to legs. You know? That's why he's crippled. And another reason why the scriptures frame the so-called white man, his rulership as the thighs down to the feet, is because that's the lower part of the body. That's the base of the body. That's why he's known as the bases of men. The basis of that man, that statue, is Esau. See?
Yeah, it says to shatter. It says
you shattered your, you know what I mean? Tibula. Go ahead.
Yes, it's just Strong's definition. It says crush, destroy, hurt.
Yeah. Well, destroy, when you go into that word destroy, when you go deep into that word destroy, it means to take away structure. That's where you get the word destruct from, to take away structure. See, versus construction, which con means with, instruction goes back to structure. So simultaneously as the Lord is destructing America and the so-called white man, he's constructing the house of David. See, it goes into the analogy I gave with the stadium. You got the fans. When this team score, that side of the stadium shut the hell up. They start mourning, and the other side start rejoicing, man. See that? So you got something else over here before we go back? All right, come on.
This is Rock 25 and 7. Every 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy.
Yep, there be 9 things which I judged in my heart to be happy. Go ahead.
In the 10th, I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children.
Yep.
And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies.
Woo, he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies, man. And that's why it's important to know the history. Because when you consider our forefathers, they didn't have this luxury at that time, in that physical sense. You know, what they saw in the so-called white man in his reign, they thought it was perpetual. They thought his strength was inevitable, like he would never fall. But that's why the scriptures say, he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. This is a beautiful time to be in, the so-called white man. his rulership, which could be considered somewhat of a dynasty, man. But this man had a powerhouse, and again, it was at the expense of Israel. But guess what? When the time where this nigga is falling, his power is being taken. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, come on.
Come, it's the book of Matthew 13 and verse 16. It says, "Blessed are your eyes for they see,
Woo!
and your ears for they hear."
Yeah, so this is a blessed time to be in, man. Blessed are your eyes for you see Yahweh Shah working a powerful work on our behalf. See, go ahead.
It says, "For verily I say unto you,
For truly I say unto you, go ahead.
that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see."
Yeah, you can read the book of, you can read 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, man. Acts, the 1st chapter. The prophets desired to see this day. They desired to see the day when the Romans, all right, the so-called white man was taken down and we would be exalted. Matter of fact, give me that real quick in Acts, the 1st chapter. I know you're getting something. Give me that in Acts. Go ahead, read that part again.
It says, "For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see."
Come on, man. You in a privileged position, man. You actually said the fall of a kingdom. There's nothing to gloss over, man. You saying the fall of Babylon the Great. See that? Go ahead.
It says, "And have not seen them."
Yeah, many righteous men, they desired to see this, but they didn't see it. See, go ahead.
"And to hear those things which ye hear,
Mm-hmm.
and have not heard them."
Yeah, and let's go to an example of that. Go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 1, and verse 6.
That's it.
It said, "When they therefore would come together, they asked of him, saying,"
Now, let's set the stage here. This is after our Lord was risen, after he was crucified, and he appeared to his disciples. And what's the first thing they asked him? Go ahead.
"Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom
See that?
to Israel?"
See that? That was the mentality, man. First thing they asked the Lord was that this time, they thought when they saw the Lord return, they thought, oh, this is it. The Romans going down, the kingdom here. Right? Go ahead. Let's see what Yahweh Shah said.
It said, and he said unto them, "It is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own."
So that was like a letdown. Yahweh Shah said, look, man, it ain't for you to know. But now we know. Let's prove that. Give me 1 Thessalonians.
Yep.
See those same men back, now we know. We're going to show you that. 1 Thessalonians 5.
Yeah, this is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 1. "But of the times and the seasons,
See that? Go ahead.
brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you."
See, so now we know. We know perfectly well this is the time and the season that our forefathers inquired about. This is beautiful time, man. The overthrow of Esau, the wicked, man. And you know what that means too? That means that the Lord is once more showing favor. See, it all comes together like a beautiful picture, man. You know, when you go to the curses, right? In particular, the 49th and 50th verse, the Lord, he said, "I'm going to send Esau at you." That was going to contribute to the Lord's anger. As long as Esau on the scene in power, you know, like, oh, the Lord angry with us. But now, this man going down, that's the Lord now showing favor to us once again, man. So there's a lot of nuances that comes with that. You got something? All right, so that was it on what you had?
Yeah.
All right, come on. So let's go back to that, what's that, Revelation?
Somebody
Revelation 18, what was that?
You talking about Ezekiel? I know we had.
Okay, that
you
okay.
back in Ezekiel. Right?
Con.
Yeah, back.
And Revelation 18 too again. Yep.
These back Ezekiel 17 and verse 4 again. It's like Ezekiel 17 and 4. It said he cropped.
Oh, and I know what I want to go down to the end of it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but read that again.
Yeah, Ezekiel 17 and 4. He cropped out the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic.
So we was carried into a land of traffic. Go ahead.
He set it in a city of merchants.
In a city of merchants, proving America to be a city of finance. So this is nothing coincidence. This is nothing random in the approach of Yahweh Shah and surgically attacking this man, by way of his financial structure. All right. Yep. So you can jump down.
All right. Ezekiel 17:24. And all the trees of the field shall know that our Lord Yahweh Shah have brought down the high tree.
Yeah, so the Lord has brought down the high tree. See, go ahead.
Have exalted the low tree.
And exalted the low tree. Again, it goes back to that analogy. If you have two opposing forces, as one is coming up, the other got to go down. Two people can't win the game, man. Somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. See, go ahead.
have dried up the green tree.
Yeah, the Lord is now drying up America, drying up the green tree that once flourished. See, go ahead.
And have made the dry tree to flourish.
Now we are flourishing by way of this word, which is those living waters. All right. So now let's go back here again.
Revelation 18.
You know, with the merchants.
Kind of this Revelation 18 and verse 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torments,
Yep.
weeping and wailing, and saying,
Oh,
alas.
that's a good point. A seesaw. Beautiful point.
That's it.
Yeah, the dynamic of a seesaw. As one is going up, somebody got to go down, man. Go ahead.
Come. It says, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple, and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. In every shipmaster.
Now, it said 1 hour, these rich are going to come to naught. That's dealing with the climax, if you will. When the Lord send that destruction, it's going to be 1 hour, a literal hour, where this place is going to be overthrown. Right? Go ahead.
In every shipmaster, and all the company in the ships.
But you see, though, right? You see who's the one, you see who's affected by this. The shipmasters. This is dealing with business. See, go ahead.
And all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea.
See, as many as what?
Trade by sea.
As many as trade by sea. So all of this come together beautifully, man. There's a reason why we highlighting the fact that America is in this retail apocalypse, man. These stores is closing. Oh, they got this new thing, this 3-day, what they call it, 3-day, it's a 3-year. So like, yeah, the 3-year store closing or something, where they give themselves a 3-year wonder and see if they can bounce back. Look, ain't no bouncing back. See, go ahead.
Come. It says, in every shipmaster, and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea.
See, as many as trade by sea. When you finish it up, look up that word trade. You got something? After you do it, I want you to get what you got.
Okay, come.
Yep, come on.
Come. It says, as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning.
Yeah, and that proves too that this destruction is going to be televised. You know, the Lord is going to publicly humiliate America. That's why they think these satellites is up here. See, that's why the Lord said you have been snared across the board. The Lord going to snare you, and all their works is going to be a snare. These satellites are going to contribute to people actually seeing the destruction of Yahweh Shema Shah. You think the Lord going to just tiptoe and sneak? Like the Lord go, throw some shit and hide. No, man, you're going to know that it was Yahweh Shema Shah. Everybody going to see the fall of America, man. There's going to be a monument, a memorial of wickedness and what not to do and how not to play with the Lord, man. Hey, that what happens in the law. When you go into the law, the law encourages you to drag a motherfucker out in front of the public and stone them so that those who see it can be mindful, like, oh, I know not to do that. See? Go ahead.
Come. It says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like.
Now you notice it said from afar off, they saw the smoke of her burning. So they were actually looking at it like, oh shit, it was being covered. This is going to be covered, man. They're going to see us going up in the church. They're going to blow everybody's mind. This is going to be a big transition. The kingdom of heaven, everything going to be established at that moment. You're going to know that there's a higher power at that moment. You're going to, Yahweh Shah, the angels, the elect, everybody going to be glorified in that day, man. Go ahead.
Come. It says, saying, what city is like unto this great city? But I'm going to jump and go back to the word trade real quick. It's on Strong's G2038. It says to work.
Yeah, to work. That's what this place is based upon, man. Go ahead.
It says labor, do work. It says to trade, to make gains by trading.
Yep.
Do business.
Woo. That's what America is centered around. That's why in the spirit, Yahweh Shema Shah got us. Hey, for an example, you go out to these different, these respective camps in these different cities and states. Usually the brothers that's out there, been thrust into the public's eye, you out there in the market. What the scripture said, we got to go out there to the marketplaces, because this is a business too. So what we doing is how was I said it? I should be by my father's business.
Yeah.
So you notice, like, brothers out there, you might see this restaurant, that restaurant, a damn cell phone place. Then you got the camp, you know. So this is a place of business, man. This is the Lord's business. All of this is the Lord's business, man. But the Lord is going to crash, you know, the wicked. That business is going to go under, and the Lord is going to establish the house of David. All right. There's more of him.
To work for.
Okay, come on. So now let's get into this.
All right, Con. This is from PNLive.com, and this came out yesterday. And it reads: Retail apocalypse continues.
So this came out yesterday. Or another quick thing, the featured opening clip. All the information was no later than January the 4th. Yesterday, man. So things is happening, man. Right, go ahead.
It said retail apocalypse continued in 2020. It said JCPenney, GameStop, Gap, and more than 40 other retailers.
And more than what?
40 other retailers.
Go ahead.
Closed thousands of stores.
Thousands of stores, man. And that's not just some hiatus and they're going to make a comeback. Matter of fact, give me Ecclesiastes 12. And you know what? Start at the very top. Whoever get it. Again, this is a work of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. The Lord is breaking down America as he broke down Egypt. Now, when you go into ancient Egypt, for example, when the Lord sent the locusts and they killed off the crops, and you had the cattle and the livestock that died off, that was actually the Lord affected Egypt's economy, man. So that's happening again. Which, when you go into the secrets of war, if you will, you might want to, the secrets of war, if you will. One of the methods is blockade and siege, which you cut off all the resources. You know, war is bigger than just, you know, swords and javelins being thrown, or in the modern sense, guns, fire, and missiles. War is a thinking game, man. You know, you have somebody, they have blueprints, and well, not blueprints, but war strategies, and they might say, we're going to compass, you know, this side, or we're going to, you know, cut off these supplies of this area. So Yahweh Shema Shah is a war tactician, man. And he's breaking down America, man. This is an active war right here, man. Go ahead,
Here's just some real quick.
Mhm.
At 15 and 12, it said, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it.
Yeah, so Egypt shall mourn. That's dealing with now. But it says the Most High is the one that's going to bring this plague upon it, man. So this is a work, again, this is a work of Yahweh Shema Shah right here, man. So you think it's a coincidence these different retail stores, they're just shutting down, man? No, that all goes into the decree of the Lord. And what makes it so heavy, the Lord spoke it, man. That's why the scriptures say, matter of fact, let me find it real quick and I'll let you get it. Go ahead and get what you got. Unless you have somebody else over here?
No.
Go ahead and give me what you got. Ecclesiastes 12 chapter.
It's Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not.
Yep, read this again.
Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh.
Right. So now is the time to remember the Lord, man. Now is the time to fully commit to Yahweh Shema Shah. Why? Because again, the Lord has sanctioned the fall of this place. And again, it goes back to the decree. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 9.
That's it.
Not that thou was unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle.
Read this one more time.
It said, not that thou was unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle.
Right. It's not as if the Lord's arm is too short to deliver us. The Lord could have easily, brought the so-called white man under. See, go ahead.
Or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts.
Because the Lord have everything at his disposal. The Lord can send elephants, all whatever.
Yeah.
And there's other animals you don't even know about. Right? Go ahead.
Or with one rough word.
Or with what?
One rough word.
One rough word. All the Lord had to say is die. So that goes back to a decree. So the Lord said, you know what? It's time for America to fall. But he sanctioned it, but we spoke it into existence. That's why it's this the time where the books is open. Because the Lord already had a plan for America to be overthrown, but it had to be spoken into existence. It had to be spoke here on the planet Earth in this realm. So that was it on that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back here.
Going back to Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1. Remember not thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in
And then we at the beginning, we at the coast of that time. You don't have pleasure in these times. These people don't got pleasure in these times. You got to stand 6 feet behind a motherfucker, man. Or you can't go and come as you please. You have to conduct everything from the crib. Especially here in America, this place is geared for you to get out and stunt, But now you confined to the house. You don't have access to the happy hour and the bars and clubs anymore, man. This is the time when you have no pleasure in these days. See, read that part again.
God, it says, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
Yep, go ahead.
While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened.
What do it mean when it say, while the sun and the moon and the stars be not darkened? That's talking about this information. That's talking about this knowledge. There's going to be a time you're not going to have access to this knowledge. See, go ahead.
Nor the clouds return after the rain.
Yep, go ahead.
In that day, when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders shall cease.
And the what?
And the grinders shall cease, because they are few.
That's dealing with the jobs. The grinding is ceasing because they are few. You can't say we just, we making it up on the fly, because unemployment is at an all-time high, man. What we read here is biblical prophecy, man. You can't go to any other source, any other text and get this information. See? Go ahead.
It says, and those that look out the windows be darkened.
Yep, go ahead.
And the door shall be shut.
And the what?
And the door shall be shut.
And the door shall be shut. See, go ahead.
In the streets.
In the streets, man. That's dealing with these different stores. The doors are now being shut, man. Oh, they featured in the opening clip where you had this high-end restaurant up in New York City, where they say it was a constant, it was a regular for celebrities, man. It shut down, and they had to go out. That was shameful. They had to send out an Instagram post with heavy hearts. We want to announce after 47 years. That's your how about Shemal Shah, man. Read this again.
Come. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets.
See, and the doors are now being shut in the streets, man. See, you can see. See, if we can't make you see, but if the Spirit is on, you should see it. As we spiritually see it, you can physically see the changing of the guard, man. See that? Go ahead.
It says, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
And that's beautiful, man. Because that's a staple of, pretty much these daughters of music, they pretty much symbolize the American dream, if you will. It's not the bankers out here, they using, these celebrities as that bait. A celebrity showing off his crib. No, this is my summer house or some shit, That's why the Lord said they're going to be brought low. Why? Because they actually an extension, they represent. If you got a pamphlet, a brochure, a vacation spot, you have certain people posing in there to lure you to go. Well, that's these. So how about Shemal Shah going to break this place down on all sides? And that's where we at in this process. All right, yep, come on.
Yeah, this 2 Esdras 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown.
See, and suddenly, matter of fact, give me, I think, is that Proverbs 6? 6 and 15? Yep, give me that.
It's Proverbs 6 verse 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly.
See, whose calamity? The so-called white man's. Right? Go ahead.
Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy.
Without remedy, man. That's why, again, the guy who's narrating, he said there's no recovery. There's going to be no recovery. But there's no remedy for this. Who can survive the blow of Yahweh Shemel Shah? No one, man. The Lord has set his face against Esau, man. There's nothing you can do, to turn away the anger of Yahweh Shemel Shah. The arrow is sent, the fire is set, and who can quench it? Who gonna squash this beat? Who gonna stand in between Yahweh Shemel Shah and Esau? Y'all chill. No, man. All right, come on up.
Okay. Second season 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown.
Woo! What? Come on, man. Suddenly the sown places are becoming unsown. Because it seemed like this place was firmly established. It was as if America had taken root and it was here to stay. No. The Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah is now beginning to uproot this place, man. Suddenly, too, man. It's sudden. That whole, which we know it is, though at least that everybody got their hand in this, but it's really Yahweh Shemel Shah. This suddenly happened, man. Go ahead, Up.
It says the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
Yep, and that's happening too. And I know, I think it was, I don't know if it was Christmas, New Year's, or one of that, but the motherfuckers hit up all the grocery stores. You go to the supermarket, shit was empty, man. There's gonna come a time where they're not gonna restock, man. But that's already happening in certain parts of America. The storehouses are now empty. So what's taking place here? Biblical prophecy. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Rock 5 and 7. Make no tearing to turn to the Lord.
Yeah, so now you should be even more amped up. It should be more incentive now for you to really turn wholehearted to Yahweh Shemel Shah, seeing these things taking place. Go ahead.
And putting our offering day to day.
Yeah, go ahead.
For suddenly,
go ahead.
Shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
Yeah. And you always see that. The story always the same. Motherfucker get knocked off, and their loved ones, he just got a job, man. He was just went back to school. Well, that's scriptures, man. The Lord said he's gonna get you in your security. Well, that's happening to all you Americans. Those of you who put not your trust in Yahweh Shemel Shah, what made Esau, the so-called white man, your refuge. Oh, that in itself is an offense. That's you going to war against Yahweh Shemel Shah. The Lord said, look, I want Esau dead and you running with him, man. You in the car with this nigga. Well, the Lord gonna kill all y'all, man. And that's in the scriptures. That's in Isaiah, the 13th chapter. All right, so let's go over it.
Back in the article, it says the retail apocalypse has been going on for several years.
Yep, and I think going back to maybe 2016, you had this onslaught of stores closing, man. It was unprecedented, man. Why? Because again, like we open up with, America is centered around finance. These different stores are somewhat the fixture. These was permanent fixtures here in America. America is built upon trade. You see a motherfucker out, they spending, man. I don't care what motherfucker say, now we just out sightseeing. Guess what? You're gonna get some gas. You're gonna get something to eat, you know what I mean? See, that's so Yahweh Shemel Shah know how to humble you, man. Go ahead.
It says the retail apocalypse has been going on for several years, and last year was no different. It is fair to say that the majority of retailers closed stores, at least temporarily, due to the Crown Vic. It says, but more than 40 retailers had announced plans to close some or all their stores permanently in 2020.
See that? Read that again.
It says it is fair to say that the majority of retailers closed stores at least temporarily due to the Crown Vic, but more than 40 retailers had announced plans to close some or all their stores permanently in 2020.
Yep. So that we ain't talking about going back to what 2016, late, early 2017. This is just in 2020. Going back to 2016, all kind of stores is permanently closed. And I think who got that list? It was somebody that had a list. You got a list?
It's a list on it.
Okay, Con. Now when you go back to the old list, I don't know if you remember some of these stores like Radio Shack or some crazy. It was
Payless,
which
Toys
one?
R Us.
Payless, Toys R Us. Whatever store you could think of off the top of your head that was somewhat of a fixture here in America, it's over, man. See that?
Yep.
Go ahead.
It says, it just jumped down to the list. So here goes some of the list.
Now this list here is just 2020, right? Go ahead.
CVS.
CVS, come on, man. CVS.
How you gonna get your medicine?
Yeah. Beautiful, man.
Yep. Macy's.
Macy's, go ahead. Now I think Macy's, they go back too, but it wasn't all the Macy's stores.
Yeah.
Like they closed like certain regions of Macy's, and you know, because another thing, a lot of malls closed. They shut down just a lot of malls. Yahweh Shemal shut down. Well, you know what? That's that green tree drying up. See? Go ahead.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, niggas not gonna have, you know, niggas not gonna be able to have, you know, have a party at Chuck E. Cheese no more. Go ahead.
Kmart, Bath and Body Works, Sears, say Office Depot.
Oh, Office Depot. That's another store that, you know, that's one of those fixtures in America.
Walgreens.
Walgreens. And we naming stores that you somewhat familiar with. You're grown somewhat accustomed to. Walgreens, man.
Yep. J.C. Penney.
Now that's another one of them stores you could trace back to like 2016. But you had certain chains around the East Coast, Southeast, Midwest, and it was certain stores that survived. And it was due to them probably being in a damn shopping shopping center or something. No one gets away. Go ahead.
Victoria's Secret.
Oh, Victoria's Secret, man.
AT&T.
Oh.
Bed Bath and Beyond. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot more, but them pretty much the ones that kind of stuck out.
Yeah. AT&T though.
Yeah.
You go and get your iPhone and shit. That shit gonna be closed. This place is gonna be a ghost town. Well, they said that in the opening clip. You know, the vivid illustration I can give you is Jumanji. You know, you had this town overran and so Yahweh Shemal Shai has brought America to ruins, man. Babylon has fallen indeed. You got some over here?
Yeah, kind. This is the book of Isaiah 14 and verse 5. The Lord, let me start at verse 4. It says, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased?
Yep.
The golden city ceased.
Yep, the golden city, man. It ceased. You know what? Look up that word cease right there.
Jeremiah.
What did it give you?
The word cease, Strong's H7673, it says to cease, detest, desist, rest. It says cease. Or it says to cause to cease, put to an end.
To put to an end. The Lord brought this place to an end. It's over. Okay? That's why in the spirit, you know, you should really let go of this place. Well, scripture say let go of mortal thoughts, meaning the carnality, which is on display here in America, man. See, we have a kingdom prepared. All right, this is not the be-all, end-all, contrary to popular belief. All right, so that was it?
A little bit more. It says to exterminate, destroy.
Hey, that was it?
Yeah, that was it.
All right, what you got?
Come, this Jeremiah 51 and 8. It said, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her?
Yep.
Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed.
If so be she may be healed. But we know that's the scriptures being somewhat sarcastic. Because there's no way America is going to bounce back. America is not going to recoup. The Lord have spin America with a death blow, man. Okay? And there's no way you can recover from that, man. But if it goes back to biblical prophecy, the Lord sanctioned this, man. Okay? It was written and foretold that here in the latter days there will be a kingdom that will be sown just to bring in another kingdom. Matter of fact, you got something? Give me, you know what I want.
Yeah,
I can get this real quick.
Yeah, bring it out.
It's Job 8 in verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
He shall lean upon his house,
Yep.
but it shall not stand.
Yep, go ahead.
He shall hold it fast, but it shall not endure.
That's it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, this second Ezra chapter 4 and 28. But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown,
Mm-hmm.
but the destruction thereof is not yet come.
So America is a necessary evil, man. It was set up just to be destroyed. It said the evil is sown, but the destruction is not yet come, proving that destruction in America go hand in hand. Go ahead.
If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that it's sown with good.
See that? So America had to be set up just to bring in the kingdom of heaven. All right, you got something? All right, give me Job 12, and I believe start at like 14. We're ready to end off on this, unless you got something you want to bring up.
Oh yeah, I can get one real. I get this liquidation. Going back to finance.
Okay, cut.
This liquidation finance definition. It says liquidation in finances and economics is the process of bringing a business to an end and distributing its assets to the claimants. So that's if I mean, it's basically talking about what's happening right now, man. Because basically they selling these businesses away and they just taking the money and leave, man. They're like they say a lot of people on jobs is getting cut off. You know, a lot of people ain't working no more. You know, it says it is an event that usually occurs when a company becomes insolvent, meaning it cannot pay its obligations when they are due.
Yeah. That was it on that?
That was it.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, this Job 12 and 14. Behold, he break them down, and it cannot be built again.
Read that again.
Behold, he break them down.
Yeah, how about you outside? Break it down, go ahead.
And it cannot be built again.
Can't rebuild America, man. The Lord has broke this place down. Go ahead.
He shut up a man.
He shut up a man. These stores shut up. Everything shut up, right? Go ahead.
And there can be no opening.
And that.
That's bad.
Yeah.
It says, behold, he withholdeth the waters,
Mm-hmm.
and they dry up.
Yeah, see, the Lord withhold the waters. Now you drying up, right? Go ahead.
It says, also he senteth them out, and they overturn the earth.
Yeah.
It said, with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his.
Yeah, so the Lord controls the destiny of not just the elect, you know, and those who are destined to receive that kingdom, but also the deceivers, the devil. The Lord controls his destiny as well. All right? So you got something? And so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, you brothers out there laboring in this work. And as always, the believers, the Akim and the Aqua, that subscribe to this truth as well. Till the next time, Shalom.
Shalom. DTA, abide the ball.